Okay, today we're going to unbox the Mezco Destro. This is the 112 Collective Destro. I've been eyeing this guy for a while here, but I balked at the $100 price. However, recently it came down in price to about $60, and that made it something that I could do. Now, is it worth $100 is what we're going to determine. We're going to compare it against some classified versions of Destro that have come out so far and just see if it matches up. Is it really worth, 3-4 times the price that you're going to pay for a classified Destro? And I'm pretty excited about this because I've never seen a seamless figure before. So this is one of those, you're not supposed to be able to see the joints. Now, obviously, this is a really special figure for me to unbox. I'm pretty much Destro obsessed, as you probably could tell from my handle, that this is the channel that loves all G.I. Joe, but above all, loves Destro. First thing I gotta say is the box is gorgeous, and I absolutely love it. This is one of the reasons why I bought the damn thing. I just want to display this box somewhere. It's so beautiful. I've always loved this art. Hector Garrido's original drawing of Destro, one of the most fearsome drawings he ever did. I love the face sculpt specifically on Destro here, and that's one other reason why I'm really excited for this particular figure is it has a face sculpt that actually matches this this artwork. For the first time, I think we're going to get a face sculpt that really matches the artwork that introduced Destro. But talk a little bit about Destro before we get in. Let's talk about why I love Destro, why he is my favorite villain. This would be my original Destro. Now, I got this guy right when he came out in '83. I remember seeing the commercials. I was also reading the comic book, and he instantly became my favorite villain, and to this day is my favorite villain of all time. And a couple of reasons why I think he's so extraordinary is one is, wrist rockets. Okay, I'd love to have some wrist rockets. If anybody pisses me off in traffic, I'd probably, blow up their car with a little wrist rocket. Wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't feel bad about that. But he's got his beryllium steel gloves that he can just break your face with. He's got his mask, which is this traditional mask, which is passed down through his family. His great-great-great-great-grandfather was caught selling weapons to both sides of a conflict, and so they took an iron face mask and put it on his face, and now it's tradition that all of the Destro clan wear these masks. Must be interesting at Thanksgiving, but I love the look of this guy immediately. And now that I'm a little older, I can understand some of the things that are kind of funny about this character. Like, okay, why the disco, chest? And what does it say? What does it say about him? And what I realize now is it says that he's a hedonist, right? That he's got this. He's not really an evil guy, and this is another thing where I love the way Larry Hama wrote him. He wasn't evil. He was an honorable man that could make a deal, but he lived by his own moral code, right? Which was not very moral, but he wouldn't screw you over. Once he made the deal, he kept his word. He was also deeply in love with the Baroness, which is kind of interesting to see a villain who deeply loves. You don't see that very often. And that love kind of drove him through the comic book. He went against Cobra Commander because Cobra Commander is a psychopath. And, I'm not talking about the stupid whiny ass Cobra Commander from the cartoon. I'm talking about the evil sociopath Cobra Commander from the comic book. That's my Cobra Commander. And that Cobra Commander didn't retreat. That Cobra Commander was terrifying. And there were times when Destro had to say, you know what, guy, you were a little too evil for me, even though I've got no morals. I can't be with you. And he moved against him, teaming up with the G.I. Joe team a couple times in the comic book, and then eventually breaking off and getting his own faction with the Iron Grenadiers. So he just had a lot of lore, really fascinating character. And you can tell from his disco garb that, he's not necessarily evil. He's greedy. Yes. He'll do anything for money. Yes. He lives by his own code. I kind of love that about the character. So let's take a look at this brand new Mezco version of Destro. Oof, he comes with a lot of stuff here. So, oh man, he's really amazing, actually. I had watched some unboxing videos of him and honestly was not that impressed and didn't really think that I was going to go for this figure for the $100 price, even though I was tempted. But obviously video is always going, I mean, it's probably going to look bad on this video. I've got a decent camera, but it's probably not going to look as great as it does in this thing is absolutely beautiful. It is really unbelievable how good this thing looks. This was the thing. Okay, so we've got our wrist rock. It's fallen off, and that is, let's take him off temporarily and just look at the articulation. So he does move pretty well, and he's seamless, so you can't see the joints and that, but he still is pretty much matching the articulation of the classified toy. We got the arms moving as around about as much as an arm should. We've got hands rolling around. Okay, we've got the chest is detailed and looks very real. Everything looks very realistic. Let's see, the leg articulation is really good too. Basically standard, very similar to, you can see if you can do a split. You can do a Jean-Claude Van Damme split. He can kind of do a Jean-Claude Van Damme split. Not quite get to the ground, neither can I. They weirdly gave him a little package. Okay. I guess that's why the Baroness stays with him. Yeah, he's absolutely gorgeous. I honestly am now, after actually, waiting, I'm seeing it and it's beautiful. I may actually have to go out and get some of the other Mezco 112 figures that I was less tempted about. They look way better in person than they do in photos, which is odd. It's going to look a lot better in person. But here's the big reason why I really wanted this figure. I'm going to take out his other head. Now we have 3 head sculpts. One of them is sort of similar to his classified counterpart. This would be a sort of standard modernized Destro head, maybe similar to the cartoon. It looks really good. It is certainly better looking than the classified version, but it's not the head I was looking for. And honestly, this was the thing that sold me on him. Now that's the Destro face I always wanted. That's the Destro face I know from the art, dead on, perfect. That makes this thing worth the price right off the bat. I am astonished. This is my classified Destro, okay? I have him, and I also have the retro version, which is exactly the same figure, disappointingly. So let's look at him. You're gonna notice he's missing his little medallion, and that's because I let my daughter, Scarlett, play with the toys sometimes. And being a young girl and playing it, she's right, playing into her gender roles. When she plays action figures, even G.I. Joe, it is, Baroness and Destro have a family and they got babies, and I think he gave her the necklace, and now I can't find it. Now I'm going to say the first run of the classified series so this is the first run of the classified series. I certainly, like everybody else, was not crazy about the first designs, with the exception of 2 figures. They nailed it on Snake Eyes. They absolutely nailed it. They didn't get his accessories right, but the figure looks perfect. It's, I think, still the best version of, if you want that V2 Snake Eyes with the visor. I'm more of a Commando Snake Eyes guy, so I prefer my other one. But if you want the best figure they came out with of the V2 Ninja Snake Eyes, is the one that they first came out with. And the other figure they completely nailed is Destro. No complaints on Destro. That was what brought me into the line, was, okay, I'll get that Destro. I'll get the Snake Eyes. I bought a couple others. I did not buy the horrible Roadblock. I mean, this is a very good version of Destro. This is very satisfying for the first line of classifieds. I don't think it's a perfect Destro, and a couple things that it's missing is, one, the face sculpt is a more modernized one, and I don't want that. I want that old style Hector Garrido art version. Other than that, I really did think the figure nailed it and looked great and was pretty great. Now with Retro Cardback Destro, all you get, I'm not going to unbox him, okay? I'm not going to unbox him because he's exactly the same figure as the other one. He's just a little shinier. Comes with the same accessories. He doesn't even come with the gold pistol. He's the same figure. This would have been their chance to say, and I think their really only chance. I mean, can't imagine them coming out with just another version of Destro for some reason. There's very little difference between this one. There's no necessity to get this figure. The Retro Cardback doesn't come with a file card that you can read and is just exactly the same thing, maybe just a little bit of a better paint job, a little bit more silver, a little bit deeper red. So I'm not going to unbox this because I like the way this guy looks. I am by no means a person who has any interest in buying toys to keep them in the box. That's the one I'm going to keep in the box because he doesn't do anything different for me than the one I already have. So I got him for like $15 at Walmart. So it was worth it at that point. So let's look at this Destro again here. Now, my head sculpt, the second head sculpt we came with here, he's smiling, and this is more of a cartoony Destro that I'm not super crazy about. But what's nice about this, the head pops off real easy. Just like, unlike the classified figures where sometimes it takes me 20 minutes to pull one of their heads off, this guy's head pops off nice and easy. New head. I mean, he's probably gonna lose his head in a fight, but cool looking. I don't dig it though because it's not the one I came for. I came for this face sculpt. This thing is the Destro that I always wanted. Let's get that gorgeous face back on him. Now, he just looks more severe. He looks more retro. He looks from another time there with this face. Let me look. Let's see what else. We got a lot of hands here. I'm not big on millions of different kinds of hands because I don't particularly pose for photography. I am going to either, put them on my shelf, probably load them up with weapons. So I want open hands where he can hold something, or basically I'm going to play with the thing, right? I'm going to, with my kids, we're going to get on the floor and we're going to have battles. I'm like that. I'm not going to make it sit in a box. I'm not, that's why, the other Destro lost his necklace, is because my kids are playing with these things with me. For me, the many, many different hands is not so good. I don't care. But if you're if you're, somebody who's doing toy photography, this is pretty fantastic. Now look at that face though. That is a beautiful face. Now, he comes with so many hands, it's actually crazy. So what I'm looking for, and what I'd like to see them do in classified, is to have one open hand that can still hold a weapon, but also looks like it can throw a punch, okay? And one hand that is a trigger finger. That's what I think they should do for everybody as their default. I do not like that the default of everybody is a trigger finger. I think it makes play not as fun. It's harder to get a satisfying punch. And I think, like, even if you don't play with them, ultimately these aren't statues, so you want you want them in theory to be playable. That to me is the judge of whether they're good, is can you play with it? And for me, closed fists aren't that playable, and trigger fingers aren't the best. I want to be able to hold a weapon and also have the ability to throw a punch and make it feel like a punch. So he's got the wrist rockets. This would be one flaw here I'm going to tell you about. They fall off very easily. And there we get our first flaw in this figure, is that they're just going to fall off constantly. So you could put some putty on them, or you glue them on, and then obviously you've lost the ability to sort of change things. So maybe putty would be the best, but you're going to need to modify that. Otherwise, it's going to aggravate the crap out of you. In addition, he comes with a wrist rockets that fire off, and these things look absolutely beautiful. Let's try them out. Yeah. So that is Destro with his wrist rockets firing out at you. It looks fantastic. The detail on the clouds is perfect. It's a translucent material, so light is shining through it, which adds a lot. I think this would be great for toy photography, and that really adds a lot. Let's take a look what else he has accessory-wise. Okay, our boy Destro comes with two weapons, a rifle And it's not that gummy crap that Hasbro's putting out. It's very hard. It's very strong material. We've also got a pistol, similarly really strong material. Does have a hole so you could put in blast effects in theory. Well, now I have found another problem with this figure is that the hands come off very easily, which I think could be irritating in play. I think this is if you want to do toy photography, that's your thing, or you want to just pose and put them on a shelf, this thing is absolutely perfect. I think for play, it's going to have a couple of little quirks that make it annoying. And so, you know, not a $100 toy. Normally, we're not buying that for a $100 action figure. Is not normally bought for play. So I think it's probably not going to be a problem for most of you. It is, however, a problem for me. Another thing that we get a really nice stand, and we also get an articulating arm to hold him up. So there he is on his very nice COBRA stand, stands up pretty well, foot peg goes right in really easily. Okay, so now he also comes with his briefcase, very nice detail on it. Comes with basically a little mini arsenal inside, a COBRA symbol. That thing looks really nice and looks like he could really do some damage. Alternately, you can take out the other piece, which actually lights up, and you can have basically exactly what he had when you got him when he was a kid on that backpack, which is just open it up. It's got an arsenal, a gun you can break down. Now, the inside, the detail here, we have a gun that's modular. Now, you can take these pieces out and assemble it, so that's amazing. All right, there's a problem. The hand just came out right when I grabbed him. So there he is with his assembled gun. And it looks a lot like what he would have had in his original backpack and the original figure. Little tiny pieces, hard to assemble. One problem I'm having with this figure is anytime I grab his hands, I yank one of them off. So that is definitely a minus. There's some nice detail on the case. It's got a moving handle, which feels like it could break. So there he is with his briefcase, weapons, his assembled gun. And now let's take a look at the piece de resistance here. The most important thing is, disco medallion. So here we go. Now the medallion goes on, and this one I'm definitely not letting my daughter play with because she will definitely lose this on me. Barbie will be wearing it, and no, this is Disco Destro. Okay, this is what makes him Pimp Daddy Destro is the medallion. Can't have him without the medallion. So and it's beautiful just to have that piece be a separate piece on a chain. Man, it just makes the figure. So that's the Mezco Destro. What are my thoughts? Is he the perfect Destro figure? Yes and no. If you want the perfect looking figure to pose for photos, if you are looking for something that is, exactly a replication of what we had as a kid, sort of the promised version of the one we had as a kid, in 6-inch scale, it is exactly what you want. It's perfect. He looks beautiful. He comes with tons of accessories. His face sculpt is amazing. His body is seamless. He looks really, powerful, and they just nailed the detail. They nailed the design. The box art's gorgeous. A couple qualms I have about this figure are, hands popping off, the tiny pieces it takes to put together that little gun means I'll probably keep it in the case, but that doesn't bother me too much. I think the only problem I really see here is the hands popping off all the time, and the wrist rockets also popping off. But other than that, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. You can't even trust the video here, I think, because I saw videos on him and I was like, not $100. Yeah, this is a $100 figure that I got for $60. It's unbelievable. Loving this design, the seamless design. This is my first experience with it. I've never seen a seamless figure before. Never dived in and bought one. I probably will go and buy the rest now. certainly will buy a Snake Eyes or a Storm Shadow. That's it. So that's Destro. Highly recommend you pick them up. It's going on for $60. Get them now and subscribe. You want to see some more of these unboxings. I like to do a little lore with my unboxing, talk about the character and the figure and what it meant to us when we got them.